welcome to the community Lagoon then. And thank you to the guys being here. And maybe some more pop in and maybe some pop out. But we're here for an hour approximately to speak about anything. And you can ask your questions here or in the text channel. And there will be a video version of this Lagoon uploaded to YouTube later. So you can listen in then. And if you're listening in on the YouTube, then just head on over to our Discord if you have any questions. We usually answer pretty fast.
Yeah, so let's just start with if anyone has any questions. It's just to raise your hand and come up to stage, or write them in the general channel, because then we can set the topic and we can talk around that. I think that makes most sense. Else it's just usually me babbling about stuff.
And we've been talking in another AMA for already 1 hour, so we're already warmed up. And there was no questions at that time. I think was maybe one
we
on
had
the
some
stage.
questions. Yeah, we had some questions from Worm. So
and so we're ready for more questions this hour. Any questions are good.
Worm again. That guy. That guy.
That guy.
It's always that guy. Yeah, hello. Welcome to stage Worm.
Thank you. Just because I'm in the car right now and you're on Bluetooth speakers, but it's working. It's fine. What I read on Discord channel was that I had to migrate some stuff. That was on the 15th of February. That Mr. Google posted something about migrating something with assets, but I don't think I did it. Have I lost all my or?
Yes. If you didn't do it 15th, everything got transferred to Atlasor.
Okay.
So it's no. It's like you would have known if you hadn't done it, because every time you went into the earn page, it will bring you a pop-up saying that you had to migrate. So basically, if you didn't get that pop-up, I think you didn't have anything to migrate, and it was just for the 4 FUSD pools. Yeah. So we just annoyed people that were in those pools that had staked the LP tokens in the old staking contract, because we made a new staking contract for FUSD to be able to split the rewards.
Okay.
But I don't think you had a stake in FUSD.
No, in FUSD, no, not yet.
No. So then everything is good. It's
that's fine. Yeah. No worries.
And for people that didn't migrate, it's just that like the old staking contract stopped giving rewards. So if you hadn't migrated, or it took you a day, or you haven't done it yet, still it's just like click that button and then you're into the FUSD new staking contract and you're getting rewards again. And that was a huge milestone in getting the peg back down. I think it's around 1 now. I haven't checked. Right now it's
it's close.
Yeah.
It's hovering when the price
but we're gonna be in this like I think like 4% down, 4% up territory for a while, until more use cases comes for FUSD and more liquidity comes. And one of the things that we're gonna fix it with is the order book that we're working on now, because that's also like one part of getting FUSD to be pegged to 1 is to get the order book working 100%. So the issue, or not the issue, but the way the first order book was designed was that it worked on the side of the AMM. The new one now will be basically combined with the AMM, so you won't be able to go just to the AMM and buy and sell there, but you will always have to go through the order book if there's orders that's unfulfilled at the price level. So that's better for the user as well, because then you get a lower price impact. In some cases, you can get a bit higher gas fees. In some cases, you can get a lot lower gas fee. It all depends on what's in the order book. Silence.
Oh no, I was trying to reply to you, but I was muted.
Okay.
I muted my mic on my headset. Yes, and trying to figure out how to get the lowest amount of gas fees with that kind of complexity. That's the advanced part, or the complex part of finishing that smart contract, and even also the front end, because a lot of logic goes into the front end then to be able to help the smart contract make the right decisions and do some computations on the front end. And so then basically your computer is aiding in trying to figure out how much you want to take from the order book and how much you want to take from the AMM, and if that checks up, if that checks up in the smart contract with the validations, then it will go through. So you can do that. Things that doesn't require any security, you can do in your computer, and the security part we can do on the smart contract. That way we can save gas, but it has to be tested out also in practice and see how everything fits together. It's a puzzle piece, so that will take a good amount of time to be the next evolution of the whole ecosystem. It's getting tied together, everything. And speaking of the peg, then it should help that as well, because a lot of orders with them be really close to the $1 price, and people will have to eat through that first.
Yeah, I also see people now, and that's really nice, seeing people making bots that only trade around like 2-3% depeg on FUSD, and the bot just waits for like overpeg, then it sells, and then waits for underpeg and it buys, waits for overpeg and it sells. So that's like when you're starting, and right now the margin needs to be around 6% from one, so like 97 cents up to $1.03. So to make any profits on it, but later when it gets more liquidity and stuff like that, we will see like 1.003. Yeah, so we're adding more zeros to FUSD basically, the more liquidity we get.
Yep.
So dump it.
Controlling the bots?
One more time?
Sorry. Who's controlling the bots?
I just saw some users. Said that they had made the bot that did this. So it's not something that we have control over. It's just buying and selling. So they're just like having made a bot. I think he actually took the liquidator bot and wrote it a bit to just be like maintaining around the peg to do the arbitrages.
Oh, that's clever, because you have almost all the code there.
Yeah. So
does it have a positive influence on the price, or?
Yeah, really positive, because then it's like you have someone that buys when it's low to get the price up to 1, and then waits for it to get high, and then sells to get the price back down. So it's like Flamingo. When people are thinking about bots and stuff like that, it's really important to understand that arbitrageurs and bots and people, they can't harm anyone, but they can be quicker than people. But they also make sure that everything is stable. It's a reason that the prices on Flamingo are the same as the prices on Binance, basically, and that's because of arbitrage bots. Because if Bitcoin drops $1,000, it's really good deal to then sell Bitcoin on Flamingo and then buy it on Binance, and then you have a profit in arbitrage. So all these people making bots, they are just like making sure that everything, because it's not profitable to do it the other way, like an exploit. That's what's really important for us to make sure of that. It's not like you can make a bot that can exploit something.
No, they just trade, and it's good if they use bots also for the platform, because it creates more volume with the trades, and they use fees, and those fees goes to the stakers and to the fund.
Yeah.
So the more bots, the stabler the price, and the more traffic we get. So if people want to run it.
Let me ask Dumpit to come to stage. He's been having, and also he has this hand on his face, so I've been feeling he's really holding up his hand the whole time.
Yes.
Sorry, Dumpit, for keeping your hand off that long.
How are you, everyone?
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, we're fine. And you? Are you good?
I'm good. I'm trying to buy back some.
Oh, so you're not dumping it?
No, I want to dump. So my question is regarding BUSD. After recent events with Paxos, they will stop mining BUSD. So
Yeah.
this impact your plans to open a BUSD FUSD pool,
Yeah,
another stable pool.
yeah. It doesn't make sense anymore to do the BUSD pool. So
It's
good
cancelled.
summary there. I think like USDC or DAI or something like that. We want to bring in one more stable coin that you can go cross chain with to Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum and other places. So now that BUSD won't be minted anymore, I think it makes sense to go for like USDC or DAI, because DAI is then at least some percentage better than USDC, even though it's backed like 60-70% by USDC, you still have it backed 30% by other crypto assets.
Yes. By the way, did you make any research about one synthetic stablecoin named Frax? It's issued from Frax Finance. I think it's the same like over collateral like FUSD. They recently said that they will make it over collateral like FUSD. So
okay, what was the name again?
Frax Finance.
With F or P? Frax, yeah.
Frax, yes, Frax Finance. If you I have a small contact with them. If you need.
Yeah, I found the page, so yeah. So they have an over collateralized stablecoin as well, or
Yes, it was in the beginning. It was algorithmic, but they said like 1 month ago that they will change it to other collateral like FUSD.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move.
Yes, and they have a lot of liquidity and members. Like maybe it will be a good addition for Flamingo.
What chain is that? Ethereum?
I think it's Ethereum. Yes, it's
Ethereum, yeah.
Based.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I think like for us, it's I think it's to start with adding Ethereum. One of the community members came with a really cool idea as well, is that to like deploy native contracts on the different chains, where you can mint the FUSD and then go cross chain with that FUSD into Neo, and you don't need to open the pools and anything like on those chains. Let's say on Ethereum, you can go in and you can have your native ETH and you can stake it to mint FUSD, and then you can take the FUSD to Flamingo. But then on the other chains, you can have much lower interest rate because on Flamingo, you get the interest rate based on also it gives you some benefits to have the loan on Neo. Yeah, there's a lot, like the first thing that's really important now is to make it stable, like we've been working hard to do with the new staking contract. Then it's to get the order book up and running to make it even more stable. Then it is to add more pairings to it, and I think like adding Ethereum as a collateral source is good. And then just look at how we can expand it, because we need to get use cases for FUSD, because it needs to be a reason for people to also have it and use it.
I think some of that will come naturally as well as Neo evolve, and we can try to also bring it outside Neo. That's also possible. But I think it's also a thing where you just create it and opportunities come. So
yeah, people already, some projects have been talking about like implementing FUSD. Of course, they were a bit skeptic when it was like $1.25, but as I told them, it's like this is just time. We need time to implement fixes for things. So so as you say, as Neo grows, FUSD will also grow because it's the native stablecoin on Neo.
About the order book, I want to ask if we could set many buy and sell orders and invoke it with one transaction. Is that possible? Because if I want to scalp trade, I need to put multiple orders, like buy and sell orders.
I think like stuff like that is natural to come later. It's not a problem to stack invokes at all. So then just we need to make the front end for it. So for when we're releasing the version 1.1, the front end won't be there to do that. But with the new contracts and everything, it's easier for us to then make a new contract. If you want to have a grid trading bot, if you want to do stuff like that, you can hook those contracts into the order book contract, and then you can have like these grid bots and stuff like that running for you in a smart contract on chain. But yeah, to answer your question, it's possible to do it. It won't be there from the start, but if it's like something people really want to have, it's not a problem to make it.
Yeah, I think the most killer feature that will be there is actually just plain limit order. That's so you can go to sleep and know that if the price pumps or dumps, you can do your action while sleeping, and that's the, let's say, step from 1 to 2. Step 0 to 1 was at least having an order book, and the next step is making sure that it's actually triggered if the price action happens overnight or when you're not at your computer. And step 3 and 4 might be stuff like you talk about there, more advanced trading mechanisms, stop loss or whatever.
Yeah.
What about gas optimization? Like, I hope it will be cheap, because if I want to trade, I will make multiples orders, so my gas fee will be high. Or you have any solution about that? Make like cheap gas transactions.
That's what we're working hard on, and it's not easy to optimize to have an actually on-chain or decentralized order book. Many have tried, and with Neo, it maybe has the best opportunity to do it, but it's still hard because it needs to be implemented with AMM as well, and figure out how to calculate all these triggers and bookkeeping and writing to storage in an efficient way. So let me say it won't be cheap to place 10 orders compared to what you're used to today to just do a normal swap. I can say that it has to cost more, basically, because you're writing to the storage on the smart contract. But it should also give you more flexibility and options on how to trade, and you should be able to take other people's orders on a fixed price, so you don't move the price immediately beyond. As with an AMM, you're always moving the price no matter what you're buying or selling. If you're like on a level where there's a lot of volume, where there's a lot of tokens ready for sale or buy, then the price will actually stop there, and it will be cheaper in terms of what it would have been with an AMM in terms of the price impact. It's really hard to drive that point home. It's hard for people to see, but I think we need to maybe show some calculations on that, because it's.
But people should also then go to like, because I see that like other decentralized exchanges are like saying that they have lower gas fees, and yeah, I agree that they have that. Flamingo is a really complex platform, so then like we need to compare apples with apples and not apples with a smaller fruit. so it's like when it comes to gas fees, also price impact it's actually what's eating you. So if you take 100 Benios, if you want to sell that for a FUSD, if you do that on Neo, you will get like $60 more than if you do that on another decentralized exchange on Neo. So then, okay, it's cool that you didn't pay 0.2 gas around like I don't know, 60 cents or something. You saved that, but then you lost $60 of the price impact. So like you have to compare the whole scenario, and with the order book it will be even, because the most expensive thing when you're trading decentralized is not gas fees, it's price impact. If the liquidity is low, and then with the order book you can get these like 1,000 Neos for sale at $15, and you can buy them all, and if you just go to the AMM and buy 1,000 Neo, you would maybe have a price impact of 2% or something.
But again, like, it's hard to drive that point home. We have to kind of explain it here, so it's also maybe important to show that after we have the actual solution, we should also show what you save on it compared to the price impact, because these orders are in the order
But
book.
placing and canceling orders aren't that expensive.
No, that's kind of cheap.
Yeah, so it's just when you're doing market orders, it can be more expensive, but then you have to look at the whole picture. Like we talked about, we've done some iterations about this, that we want to actually show you what you save when you buy with the order book based on the price impact. Like without price impact, you would have paid $200 for 10 BNEO, but since you also traded in the order book, you now like got 11 NEOs for $200. So then showing you the difference when you're done trading. So the gas fee is like, yeah. But I know that's the focus because it pops up.
Shows you the clean dollar amount in the wallet providers. But yeah, there is also different logic implementations of this contract, so we have to weigh in and look at every angle, because there is also possible that it's cheaper for people to trade in this AMM if they're just kept in kind of this vault, so that when people buy, it's actually just noted that you can go and withdraw these funds, so that is actually not transferred in your wallet once the action is complete. Let's say we set a limit order at a certain price of FLF, maybe $1. Let's be hopeful. And if it's triggered, it's not actually transferred to your wallet, but you can actually go to Flamingo and extract those. Because let's say that was, you placed 50 orders from the current price up to $1. If each transaction triggered a transfer to your wallet, that's very gas inefficient, because a transfer costs a lot of gas, because it actually writes to the record of the smart contract of the token. But we could make all that into just one transaction once you claim it. And once the orders are triggered, we could say it's been claimed. You have the option to go and withdraw these tokens. And there's all these kind of scenarios where we are in the order book 1.1 right now, where we're looking into all these possibilities to make sure that once you hit that convert or trade button, it doesn't shock you with the gas fees as well. So it's a work in progress, but there's always possibilities to be smart.
Long answer to your question there. So
yeah.
I hope you feel that it at least we covered the basis of your question as well.
Okay, guys, thank you for your answers.
Yeah, no problem. Always. Yeah, always. Just feel free to ask anything. We're trying to be here as often as we can, answering questions, and also the moderators are really good at helping out. So I hope someone else will now go and ask some other questions. We still have half an hour to go, so anyone want to raise their hand and come up to stage? Else we will just babble about, I guess, some FUSD stuff again.
Here's the question.
Yeah, super. Yeah, I think you had some. I saw some of your questions. They were interesting. Hello, welcome to stage.
One.
Is it early morning? Hello.
We're in the US now. One, of course, thanks. I mean, I don't think you guys ever get enough recognition or any praise. So I do appreciate what you guys are doing and always support her. You guys continue to push and build, deliver no matter what the quality. Like, if people are happy with it or not, you're always going to have people that want more or something different. So I appreciate you continue and continue to push out different features for Flamingo Finance.
Thanks.
That said, you're welcome. And I think that there was an initial success that when I'm looking at any sort of DAO or company grow, it's what made them successful in the first place, which, of course, there's not Uniswap type success here yet. But I also think that I just saw that there's 70,000 addresses on Neo now. So of course we're talking much smaller numbers, but it's always going back to what made Neo kind of have any sort of volume or new interaction with different areas. And of course, I don't have a deep dive of research analysis for this. This is just the normal user kind of going in and out on occasion. But one of those was this incentive with your club levels, which is, I think you were doing some sort of a gamification towards it. I forget what they're called now, but the Neo NFTs that were one that added some clout, and then of course your collection of over time of how much FLM you had. But mine was, on one instance of going back to what drives success was, the fund was obviously very successful, but when it comes to any type of incentives for club levels, and I know this is probably sounds pretty small, but this retains users. And I'm speaking of this because I have quite a few friends that I got into Neo, and two of them have since left because when they got to a certain status, for example, they didn't see any incentive that were gained from holding and moved to another blockchain, which it is what it is. That's neither here nor there. But I'm curious if there's any sort of thought on incentives for these different levels or incentives that could maybe be discussed around certain levels.
Yeah, you're thinking about like the holder club?
Correct.
Yeah. We had these trading competitions for the holder clubs. We want to go back to the trading competitions as well. But of course, we're also having a huge rework of the blockchain parser that serves all the history and data on Flamingo. So we're basically making that from scratch again because it was made 1.5 years ago when we didn't know what we needed. Now we know, so that's also a big thing of it. So the holder club is like, it's basically if it breaks right now, it's really hard to maintain it because we don't actually know how it works because it was a different developer that made it. So we're decided to like make everything up from scratch again to make sure that it's working. So rehaul of the holder program is one thing, but it's really important to not only like do that on Discord, because I also know a lot of users that's on Neo, but they're not on Discord. They're not like active on Discord. They don't have Discord, but they still like decentralized finance. They like to trade and stuff like that. So it's something that should be baked into the web page. And the incentives should basically be there based on your holdings or something like that. One thing that really benefits, I always try to find like solutions that benefit both parties. So we need to benefit the platform as well. Else we're just giving away money for nothing. So of course for holders, you have the fund where you get a huge chunk of the minted FLM and you get a lot of the fees. And it will be more once the order book is live. Also, it's getting more and more from FUSD. So that's a good incentive for holders. But then it's like trading competitions and stuff like that, because that drives volume. That like maybe gives us new traders, new people. So we need to look at both aspects because holders really need traders and traders need holders or stakers, else there's nothing to basically trade with. So yeah, we're in a phase right now where we're starting to look at marketing and how to grow. And it's really important. And I said it last time, a month ago, that this is the phase this year for us. This is what we're building up to be. Yeah, there will be some small stuff here and there. We will get the order book done, but growth is basically what we're trying to like. Try to stop development for a while and just spin our minds over to marketing growth. How can we get new users? How can we get more users? How can we retain users? So so always open for good suggestions. And actually, we just was it on Monday or Friday that we like start splitting up some marketing tasks.
Yep.
Yeah.
More concrete with in terms of
Who's doing what?
Who's doing what, and then making the broad term strategies and making or giving mandates to who has power to do what. So we're really pushing that, and we're kind of we're not winding down on the development, but we're hyper focused on those specific areas like the order book now that makes sense to just get that like fixed and to be the next part, and that's not like something sexy to sell immediately. So the marketing team will try to work with what we have. But to your point about, I would call that user retention, keeping the people we have engaged in the hodler program, or at least maybe that's what you were hinting at, that it's actually doing to some extent, and or was doing. Now it's kind of wind down, or could there be some incentives on chain as well for people to hold and not sell? I think Flund is a good solution for that, for people to hold and not Flund. And I saw your discussion with Saturuf about maybe is it possible to lower the exit fee for people that has some sort of a level in the club. And I think the solution we have right now is good for everyone, because then they don't jump in and out, and it's even worse if the whales jump in and out. So, but like some on-chain incentives, of course, maybe that's possible.
But the hard thing there is that the holder club is not on chain. It's like you sign up for it to like, it's a smart contract that stores your Discord ID together with your wallet. So that's how you basically sign up for it. But then the whole holder club is just a centralized server that makes sure that like counts, it checks your balances and everything like that. So it's, if we were to do all that on chain, I think it would be really demanding.
And to you know, we've definitely gotten, mine was just more, I mean, to your point, it is about user retention, because when I see buddies that are leaving, and right, you guys aren't going to ever get this customer feedback, I put in quotes here, but you're never going to get that type of, because when you're fighting with all the other chains over any sort of APY, they're like, why can't I just move this and do XYZ? And so we're talking, you know, even when it comes to, okay, when did you, if you're talking about on-chain, when did you buy into the fund? And, you know, after a certain duration, if it's 1 month, 1 year, 6 months, whatever it is, right, you could then say, okay, it would come out for a reduced fee. That could be another example. But I think it's, a lot of it is what you're talking about in regards to, or what we talk about a lot is new features, and I love the discussion on the Order Book Plus, and I think that the roadmap and the strategy, everything, I continue to stay around because I see that not only you guys producing, but the vision and the strategy does make sense, and I think it's something where growth happens. But I also think that we talk a lot about new features and all the, I mean, I know FUSD was a heavy lift, doesn't even still cover it, but there's always this shiny new toy that might bring 1 million new users or something. I'm making the numbers up, right? But I also think that we forget about what you guys have already built, and it's just to the conversation before was, how do we make sure that we educate the individuals that are using the platform, or those that come in, to easily understand the benefits of what's already been built?
I totally agree with you, and I think that's actually where we're heading as well. It's almost like you've been listening in on our internal meetings, because we're talking about that, shifting focus to education again, and talking about the same things we were talking about maybe 6 months ago or something like that. And when we created the hodler program, why did we create it? To make it like a social club, because it's like Odd says, it's not on chain, so it's basically just a social club. It doesn't really affect smart contracts. So to have that fun with the trading competition. That's one thing. But as you see with Flamingo Lend and FUSD, and even now with the pool migration, you can see that there's videos popping up and tutorials and written guides on everything. And we just started there, and you will see an extension of this to the whole platform, and you will see redesign of whole areas of the platform where education is heavily weighed in the redesign and design process. So you will see more of that, and that's to help with the onboarding. And we are going to start up again with a holder program to make it more engaging, so that we have that user retention, so that we don't just spend all this effort on trying to get new people in, but we're actually planning ahead and trying to keep them there. So these are all valid points you're raising, and I really appreciate you bringing it up so that we can talk about it, because this is the way we're going forward, actually. So
and that's great and again, sometimes I feel like I come across a little harsh in the Discord, which is not the intention at all. It is more to just say, this is what's happening. And I'm happy to hear that you're talking about it in internal meetings. I promise I don't have you bugged or anything. no NSA stuff there. But, no, it's good that continues to be at your guys' thoughts, because even when I'm not in the Discord 24/7 because of other things, but there is like I sometimes stuff getting confused, and I think a couple messages ago or weeks ago or something, I was asking for some videos just to understand, because there's just other things that I'm not
but I think like you have the same logic, the same like, because making Flamingo work, making everything work, and like retaining users and everything at once is really hard. So we've been really we have some superb moderators helping out in the Discord, and we also try to like be there and talk with the community and also develop and do stuff like that. But in my eyes, it's like we just need everything now to come together, and then we have this fantastic product that people want to use. It's like right now it's starting to become this like Transformers, since you said new shiny toy, but we need to make all these different parts to build the Megatron, or what his name is, like when they go together. so like FUSD is a big thing, Flund is a really big thing, Flamingo itself is a really big thing. But then when we start to like tailor these things together with good documentation, making sure that people don't join Discord and they're just like losing it right away, because it doesn't make sense to spend $20,000-$30,000 a month on marketing to get people in if we then need to spend 24 hours a day explaining the platform to them. So that's like the first step for us. Like, we need to make sure that the platform is really good. And also right now we're in the phase where we're gonna experiment with marketing. So because I'm 99% sure that the first 2 or 3 months we're gonna do a lot of mistakes. and
I hope that's the case. I mean, if you're not making mistakes and failing on something, then you're not pushing the boundary far enough. So
correct.
You have to fail.
That's how we live as well. Like, you have to push the boundaries, you have to make mistakes, but you have to be willing to not be perfect every time. But then you need to also to be sure that you have the ability to like correct that or learn from it. And like we have had some, like FUSD, basically you can call it a mistake. When it was launched, it was overpegged. It was like 125. I think I saw it up to 130 at a time there. So, but we were really like, we trusted our abilities to fix it. We just needed the time to do it correctly. And now it's like 98 cents. So we fixed it too good.
Yeah, and I like your analogy with the Transformers toys and making this Mega Transformer, what is it called? But we do now have, we had the mind shift. We took a look at it when we have already the mind Optimus Prime toy. Let's say the oldest toy, maybe the earn page, the staking has been there forever, and we can like settle down on how we want that page to look, how we could educate people, what kind of tutorials and guide materials we need for that toy. and then we can work on those shiny toys and like do that separately. So recently we have had a little mind shift, and that's the reason why the processes have started like in the internal meetings, as I said. So yeah, and I have to say also we're really appreciative of users like you, that we have a healthy discussion. We don't look at it as like aggressive or anything or harsh. That's there are other users that actually drain my energy because there's no point in discussing, but I feel like I have to. So you're not one of them. I really appreciate your feedback usually.
Yeah,
It's
and
on point.
I will also say, you guys, your mods, Zatorov, I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, but you guys are really on it. Like I'm in a lot of groups, and the mods and the communication from the mods here are top. Like, I mean, second to none. And I think that
it's amazing.
Yeah,
these guys. Yeah.
and to your point on it, it's funny because like there are some assholes in the Discord, and it's just like, oh my gosh, dude, you come in here to start conflict, and it's just like this isn't like a large group, so everybody kind of has a little bit of reputation, and then you see this "I am new here" flower, and it's just like F this, F that.
But that flower is really helpful.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, so I appreciate it, but also know that I'm trying to always just push not only the community forward, but I think that you guys have a lot of great stuff built, and it's just leveraging what's already there. And to your point of not, I don't want to say wasting money, but not spending something where you're not seeing any stickiness or result is also a great thing.
Yeah, so we will shift to marketing. We feel like with the end of this year, Flamingo is a really capable and good product, and really well working product. So then like it's the marketing and getting in new users. Maybe we're not the right team to do that. We will give it a good try. We had success with it before, but we're also like open for like then opening the door for the next team that has the experience and capabilities to like take it to the next level, because we're developers mainly, and then we will try to do the marketing, but at least we will make the finished product. And then if we don't succeed at the marketing part, then it's no problem for us to like being still in the community, but let someone else take the rails on the marketing side of it.
Yeah, and one I know this is different, but one small thought that came to mind was trying to latch on to all these layer 2 solutions for Ethereum. Obviously, Optimism being the biggest, with Arbitrum probably coming out, and ZK Starks, and you have all these others. I would be interested in some of these larger, people that have platforms on either Twitter, YouTube, etc. Going back to some external issues, or not issues, but opportunities, where you could almost compare Neo to some of these layer 2 to say, hey, you guys are using something that's brand new that probably works great, but it's still in development on a lot of things. Or you could do something that has been around since 17, started with N2 into N3, and here's all the different benefits of using Neo. So it's I believe it would need to come in different lines. One is just when it comes to existing Neo users or people using Flamingo Finance in order to do most of their swaps, conversions, trades, staking, etc. So that's obviously capped at a couple, tens of thousands. But bringing in new users from alternative chains would be another move to say, okay, if you have to then bring people in, you guys are all about this new layer 2 solution or side chain or whatever it may be. There's actually this other blockchain called Neo that is doing everything you want plus more, which has been around for a while. That was just one thought that actually came to mind.
And doing it on L1, layer 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to that education piece where, I mean, even when we're going in pretty granular here with Flamingo Finance and stablecoins and Order Book Plus, etc. But it's just sometimes it's just more like, hey, do you want to have I guess cheap gas fees with the conversation before I came up here on stage, but you're right about, okay, is there liquidity and there volume and such, but there's a lot of benefits you can do in order to earn something, and you have a stable. I mean, now we do have a stable coin, but you don't have as massive fluctuations really either. So
yeah,
a lot of benefits.
it's a risk reward situation. So like you can always join a new DeFi project and get 200% API or APR. So it's always like that. But then the risk is really high because the contracts can be hacked or stuff like that. We don't know the team and all that. But like Flamingo's been here for 2 years now, it's 2 years, isn't it? Or is it 3?
Yeah, September
Sure.
20.
On end.
September 2020.
2020. So,
yeah.
okay, so we're like 2.5 years, yeah. And like user funds have been safe all the way. So it's like this for Flamingo now. I think it's this slow and steady incline where we're just starting to utilize the order book, utilize the fund. The fund is like it's really powerful.
And then we are thinking about how can we help those developers to get the tools to maybe don't have to make their own like swap contract or something, but they could just tap into a SDK, that's a software development kit, where they can just immediately have swapping on their site if they're building a game or something that's maybe useful, that they can just swap inside their web browser or inside their DApp instead of like building their own, and they could tap into Flamingo. So if Neo gets a boost of DApps, that's one way we can get the opportunity for that luck, let's say. And another one is the crypto market in general. Maybe people get more and more accepting of DeFi, and we can sell that the money's not in the bank now. It's decentralized. Everyone is doing the market making. There's not just one huge or small huge whales doing the market making all over these centralized exchanges. So there's all these different ways that we can hit the bat, so to say, and go flying. But we're just now positioning, and we're just now trying to reach out, and that's where we will probably fail, and we'll have to try again and again and again. I don't know if that ramble made any sense, but yeah.
No, all this makes sense, and I appreciate. I didn't mean to take 24 minutes here, but I think it's been great discussion, at least for me, and appreciate the insights and what you guys are thinking.
It's always nice to talk with the community, and always nice to. It's like we're just human beings. We're just here because we love Flamingo and we want it to succeed. So when people are like coming into the Discord server and blaming us for it not succeeding, it's like double hurtful, because we're working every day to make it happen, and we really want it to happen. And that's why I also said like maybe someone else is the best to do marketing if we fail, because we really want the platform to succeed. We really believe that Flamingo has a huge future when it comes to decentralized finance. And maybe in the future, in a couple of years, Flamingo doesn't have any team anymore. It's just smart contracts and a decentralized front end. And you don't need people that maintain it and stuff like that. You don't have anyone to control anything. And that's the way it should be in the future.
But we'll always need you to do the bug control.
Yeah. I'm really
clear cache and stuff like that.
It's really fun thing to work with blockchain, but I think when the time is mature it's like Bitcoin. No one is working, or basically people are working on Bitcoin, so that's a false claim, but basically no one is working on Bitcoin. You have some teams that are working on Bitcoin development, and they have to push their update, and if it's approved by the node, it's approved. So nobody's like working on Bitcoin like that. So I think like the same for Flamingo in the future. It should be this just human less thing that's just working.
Yeah, there's like a curve where you need to go fast in the beginning, and you need to figure out where you need to go, basically just exploring. And once you figure it out, you can like withdraw more and more and more, and make it more and more decentralized. It already is, but it could be that one day you could just throw away the keys, and people would have to be comfortable with platform not being able to update anymore, and people not being able to remedy any security bugs like the way we do now. So there's always this give and take situation, but with more time goes by, we grow more and more confident that we can make even more decentralized solutions. So maybe, who knows, in 10 years what it will look like. It could be set in stone, and that's the right thing to do. So this is DeFi, it's uncharted territory.
I'm sure I know the answer because I heard there was not a lot of time and money. But is there any Flamingo app being developed? Like the MEXC app for trading is very handy, and it's very easy to use. From the Flamingo, I have to use OneGate and then go to the Flamingo. Well, not really app. It doesn't seem like an app. And it works, but it's a bit more complicated and not as easy as using the Flamingo website.
Yeah,
and as you know, I'm an 80% mobile user, so for me,
The
an app
issue
is
is the
very
wallet.
handy.
Yeah.
The issue is the wallet. As soon as it's like MXC is a centralized thing where you just log in with the username and password. But for Flamingo, it's not it's no username and password. So basically, to have that user experience, you would need to give Flamingo your private key. and that's not good.
And it's also this wall to get by in these app stores, Google Play and the iTunes Store. It's difficult because you can be a OneGate app that basically lets you explore other apps, and they don't have any ownership of these apps, and people can use it basically like a browser with a wallet connected. So it's a wallet. If you combine the two, so it's the wallet and the platform in one, you're actually providing trading services. And good luck with getting past all these regulatory issues.
Apple wants their 30%.
Yes. So it's I think it's basically impossible to do. We have to leverage apps like OneGate, and it's in the spirit of decentralization. And what's our task is to educate on how to do it, how to use the OneGate app, make sure we reach out to them if there's any bugs in the way the interaction between Flamingo and OneGate is happening. And I have some suggestions as well for that, because I would like a full screen experience on the OneGate app to have more screen real estate. So it's more like that sort of stuff we have to do. I think that's the right thing to do.
And also the Flamingo app on mobile is something that we have on the plans. It's always like been prioritized down because there's always stuff to do. But yeah, when time is right, there will be a new version of Flamingo that's really good on mobile as well. But as Atlasor says, when it comes to making OneGate, giving them some feedback on full screen mode and stuff like that as well can make the experience even better for the user.
Yeah, there was so much development velocity on the desktop version of Flamingo that basically we try to give love to both the desktop and the mobile experience. But if we continued to do that, I'm pretty sure we would fail at both. So we decided to you can do the basic stuff, and you could do all the asset actions now. That's the most important stuff inside OneGate, and we made sure that every important action also lives inside asset action, because then it's on mobile already. So we made the decision, just make sure everything is in asset action, make the desktop experience as good as possible. Once every feature and new transformer toy, let's call it that, is set in stone, we're going back to mobile, because now we know what we're creating. We know how to modularize it, how to break it apart, and where to put every part in the mobile experience and every part in the desktop experience. So that's the reason behind it. It sounds like an excuse, but it's the fact of how developer is. So yeah.
Yeah, you can see that the desktop version is really, really easy to use, and it has improved over the last months. Yeah, it's very good to see. And I was just wondering if there was something planned for mobile, but it's not
Yeah, it will come.
prioritized.
It will come. We
Yeah,
just
it's
need
okay. It's okay.
to complete. As Adrian said, it's really important to just complete the system, and then it's easy to make the mobile version. Either you do mobile first or you do desktop first. If you try to do both, you just spend a lot of time on mistakes.
And at least once a week, I'm behind the computer. Well, I'm behind the computer every day, but at work I cannot access Flamingo and sites like that, so it's always blocked. But that's due to the kind of work, but that's okay. So at home, I must go to my computer and well, sit behind the desktop, and that's not something I really like to do. But it's okay. It's okay for now, and it's very easy to use. And I like to log in, and it's always a good feeling when you see the flum going up, and yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and for the user who doesn't know, like I mentioned, all the asset actions can actually be done on OneGate if you download if you download the OneGate app. So if you read anything on Discord or mobile, so price action or something, and you want to like convert your gas into FLM, then know that you can actually do it on mobile already for the people who don't know. So yeah, it's there, but it's kind of hidden. Yeah. Should we maybe
wrap things up? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the hour went fast. Really fast.
I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah,
I actually really enjoy every Lagoon.
Yeah, but like looking at the time now, I think this one was really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it up. It's been a pleasure talking to and with you guys and girls. We'll be back in 1 month. And as always, if there's anything, we're always here to answer in the text channels. So feel free to always ask. Never be afraid to ask, and a moderator will help you. And if you have any issues, it's just open a ticket. So have a nice day and a nice week. Yeah.
Yeah, same for you guys. Bye.
Have a nice week.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Everyone.